Hey y'all, it's Sunday. Y'all, we had a wonderful service. Oh my goodness, it was so good. It was all about the purpose of marriage, biblically speaking. I can't remember the exact title right at this moment, but it was so good. So I have my roast already that I fixed this morning. I'll be loading that up this afternoon. But I'm going to quickly come on here and make some biscuits with you. These are going to be my garlic cheese biscuits, kind of like the red lobster Tootie version, okay? So I'm going to put just probably approximately about 2 cups of flour in here. The sizzling that you hear is my green beans cooking. So I'm being naughty. And I am making fried green beans with bacon grease, a little brown sugar. You can use blended brown sugar. You can use olive oil for a healthy version. But what I'm going to do is show you how to make my garlic cheese biscuits. I've put in here probably closer to 3 cups of flour. You can always add more, take away. You don't have to exactly measure this. You just want a good amount in there. In fact, I really think I'm going to put a little, actually, I think I have some in the fridge that I saved. Y'all hang on. Okay, so what I do is I save what I didn't use the time before so that it doesn't go to waste. This was what was left over before, so I'm just going to kind of throw this in here. Okay, you won't use it all. You really won't, okay? All right, so we're going to make a well in the middle of this. Brenda Gant. She makes these biscuits. This is where I got my original recipe from, and then I add to it, okay? So you just make a little well right here in the middle of your all-purpose, and my favorite is lily flour, okay? The white lily, all-purpose. You want to use that. This is a basic 3-ingredient recipe, but we're going to add cheese and garlic to it to make our garlic biscuits. All right, so I'm going to reach in here and I'm going to grab, she calls it the equivalent of 2 chicken eggs. 1. And 2. And I'm going to put just a little bit more for good measure because I've got a lot of flour in here. Okay, I've already got my cast iron skillets greased. And what I'm going to do is with my fingers, I'm going to start working this crisco, sorry, that was crisco, butter flavored crisco. I'm going to work it into my flour. This is all-purpose flour for those of you who just came on. You make a little well. Just pour you a bunch of all-purpose flour in your bowl, make you a little well in the middle, and just start slowly incorporating that flour in. And once your grease gets nice and covered with the flour, then you're going to go in with some buttermilk. We're not nearly done, but I'm going to go ahead and pour the buttermilk in now. Try to keep one hand clean. I'm going to shake that a little bit. And I'm going to generously pour that in. Okay, so I basically filled the well up. Okay, and now with my hands, I'm going to incorporate this flour, buttermilk, and grease together until I make a nice dough. We have a guest today. He's not really a guest, Tyler Dolan. He used to live with us, and he's coming to have dinner with us, and I wanted him to be I wanted him to do this too. Okay, Kyler, I'm doing a live on Facebook, but I want you to learn how to make homemade garlic cheese biscuits. So okay. After you lay your stuff down, I want you to come here and watch me. He made chicken noodle soup last night. He is learning how to cook. He's going to be probably an old married man, not too far in the future. Okay, so Kyler, what I did was I took probably about 3 cups of all-purpose flour. I did not measure it. I just dumped it in here.
Yeah.
And you make yourself a little well right here in the middle. Okay. And then I had the butter flavored Crisco. sticks. The lady that I watch on Facebook, Brenda Gant, she calls it the equivalent of 2 chicken eggs.
Yeah.
Worth of it. So I just put 2 big globs in here. Okay? Come over here and say hi. This is my boy from another mother. Okay, so you just start working it into the flour, but you keep that well, okay? Mm-hmm. Then I filled the well up with buttermilk.
Okay.
And that's literally it. Now I'm making my dough, okay?
Okay, so just buttermilk and flour so far?
Will you turn that down to low? Thank you. And when you start getting like a nice dough, then we're going to pull it out and we're going to put it on my sheet right here. Mm-hmm. And we're going to incorporate some cheese and some garlic in it. We're basically making a homemade version of garlic cheese biscuits.
Okay.
But we want to make sure that we get a nice, we want to make sure that our grease has incorporated the buttermilk and the flour. Probably need just a little more buttermilk. You can kind of get the feel of it. You won't generally use all your flour. I keep a bag of leftover flour.
Okay.
And it doesn't hurt because it's always going to be used for biscuits.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, just going to pour in a little more flour over the top of that. It needs to be a little more doughy, less mushy. I try to keep one hand clean. That's why I'm not going in with both hands.
Yeah. So it's almost like kneading bread, but like you still want it to be, in a sense, like doughy.
Yes. 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 Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, this is pretty good. Y'all can see where it's like a big glob. Hold it down. Okay, we're going to throw some flour in on this, and I'm just going to use this flour on here. You don't roll it, you're going to pat it out, okay? There we go. Alright, so I'm just going to put this big glob on here. Get all those pieces over here, and then we're going to move this bowl out of the way. Alright, now we're going to go in both hands. Alright, now I'm going to put a little bit more flour in there. It's still a little bit wet. And you can see how it's forming more of a dough now. Mm-hmm. There's no right or wrong. There's really no measurement to anything.
Yeah.
You just kind of eyeball it. And you get better every time you make it. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, there was a little piece of cheese from the last one. I'm going to pat this out. Get those lumps of flour out of the way. Okay, I'm going to like pat this out with my fingers. And to wipe your fingers of dough, you put more flour and it just makes it rub right off. One of those little chef secrets. Not really a secret. Okay, now I'm going to pat this out and just make sure that I don't have any crisco that is like still lumped up, and I don't. It's nice. I'm going to put a little bit of flour on top of here. Okay, and I'm going to fold it twice, and then I'm going to pat it back out. Okay? Okay, that's a little bit dry right there, so we're going to, okay. All right, I'm going to pat it. You want to pat it out to about the size that you're wanting to make your biscuits, but you're not ready to do that yet because you're going to have to incorporate the cheese in. So I've got cheddar cheese and I've got pepperjack. These cook super fast too. They're on I've got my oven set on 450. And I'm just going to go in with some cheese. I'm using cheddar and pepperjack. And I'm just going to make probably about the equivalent of 1 cup, not 2 cups, 1 cup between the two cheeses. Okay, that's probably about a half a cup there. And now I'm going to go in with my cheddar. And the reason why I'm using the block cheese versus the shredded cheese in the bag, the shredded cheese in a bag has a coating, an anti-caking coating. It keeps the shredded cheese from clumping in the bags, and it doesn't melt as well. You've probably noticed that when you've used your shredded cheese. There's nothing wrong with it. It just simply has an you can actually rinse your shredded cheese. Okay. All right, I have my cheese now. All right, now I'm gonna also I have my garlic wine melting pot seasoning. You need to get you some of this color. I'm just gonna sprinkle it all over it right here. And I'm gonna just put this cheese all over this right here. All right, I've covered my dough in the cheese, and I'm just gonna start folding it up. Just incorporating it into all the dough. If your hands get to where they're sticking to the dough, just throw you some flour in. Whoop! I'm messy, y'all. Okay. It doesn't take a whole lot. You don't want to need the mess out of it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to flatten it out to about the size of the thickness of the biscuits that you want to pat it out to about the thickness that you desire the biscuits to be in the end. They don't raise a super lot. The first time I did it, I patted them out way too thin. All right, keep you on hand. I have an old-fashioned one. You can buy a new one if you want to. You don't have to have old-fashioned, but if you do, it makes it extra special. And we're just going to start going in. And if you put this in the freezer before you use it, the dough will just fall right out. I have my pan already greased, so I'm just going to start throwing it in. They cook for about 10 minutes in the oven, and then they will be nice and ready. I want you to try this now at home. You just need really 3 ingredients if you want regular biscuits. If you want cheese and garlic, you could even use garlic powder or garlic salt.
Yeah.
Let's dump that in the flour. Now that'll probably help it bounce out a little better too. Yeah. All right, y'all, this is gonna make probably 8 biscuits, which is the equivalent of a can of biscuits. We've got 4 right now. It's going to make more than that, y'all, because what we're going to do is we're going to pat this leftover dough. I have dough on my glasses. Okay, we're going to pat this back out, and we're going to make a few more. And I have an extra small pan in case I don't have room for all of these. I've got a small cast iron skillet that I'm going to also use. Now, I do use the Red Lobster biscuits every now and then when I just need to slap it in there. But y'all can see how fast that this can be thrown together. There's literally nothing to it. And you can put your biscuits together. Close, it doesn't matter. Looks like we're going to be able to make about 11 biscuits here. Just make that just like that. Okay, you want to pop that in the oven? All right, y'all, let's show them. Pan full. Now, you can make a butter sauce. It's super easy to make your garlic butter sauce. I'm going to show you how to do that next. clean up our messy area here. Okay, we are going to take, look in the fridge and there's a stick of butter in the little thing right there. We're gonna melt a half a stick of butter while our biscuits are cooking. Remember, they only take about 10 minutes. I'll show you a finished picture in the comments later. We're not gonna keep you on here 10 minutes. Y'all be ready to run away. All right, we're gonna pop that in the microwave on 1 minute. Probably 30 seconds actually. I'm gonna make this with the garlic wine seasoning. If you haven't already ordered this, you wanna go order it because it's super, super tasty. It's a garlic wine seasoning, dry seasoning from Melting Pot. And so 3 things I'm gonna put in it. Italian seasoning, the Everglades, and the Melting Pot. Whew, y'all, I'm messy when I cook. Are y'all messy when you cook? I'm messy when I cook because I just get the job done. Hey, Augie, our little friend. All right, that butter's just about melted, and we are going to make the butter topping for the biscuits, and then I'm gonna be done. Okay.
There's still a little bit left.
It won't matter. All right, so we did a half a stick of butter, and we're going to, did I just put my seasonings up? I think I did. I truly did. Y'all, I can't chew gum and walk at the same time without causing a disaster. All right, I don't measure. I'm gonna say approximately a teaspoon of each. You measure with your heart. Okay. Get you a little basting brush. When those biscuits come out hot, you just baste them with the butter sauce, and you have your homemade version of Olive Garden biscuits. Y'all have a great Sunday.